I was never specific on techniques, on the nature of the interrogator, or anything else.
You remember in any of the material that came by you, whether any of it dealt with what somebody might have thought were unique phobias or vulnerabilities of people we'd be detaining in the war on terrorism?
No, no. Everything I got was historical from the 1950s, basically.
And obviously that was a totally different enemy.
Correct.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Just on that question, I think Mr. Schifrin earlier today in a response to a question from Senator Lieberman, you said that one of the purposes of seeking information from JPRA was likely to, quote, reverse engineer, close quote, SEER techniques.
I said that...
Did you just say that
I did.
Today.
And I
you said 2 minutes ago that you didn't ask about techniques.
Any specific techniques. I never inquired of any specific techniques, the efficacy, the wisdom, or anything else.
But just 10 seconds ago, I just asked you this question. In response to Senator Lieberman, you said that one of the purposes of seeking information from JPRA was likely to, quote, reverse engineer SEER techniques. And you said yes, you did say that. That was an hour ago.
I sent it to Senator Lieberman. I said...
Is that
true when you said that? My primary purpose, as I understood it, was to find all the information we had on. I also intuited that there might be some possibility of reverse engineering an effective SEER technique. Just logical.
I see. You believe that that might have been one of the purposes?
Yes.
Okay. Just, Dr. Ogrisseg, one other question for you. In an article or a book, I'm not sure, that you wrote as part of the book called Code of Conduct and the Psychology of Captivity, Training, Coping, and Reintegration of Military Life, you said that the use of physical torture has historically yielded poor information and paradoxically serves to enhance resistance.
Yes, sir.
Furthermore, the practice serves to decrease the legitimacy of the offending organization or country. Physical torture in most instances has produced false confessions or inaccurate or reliable information. Is that true? Did you write that?
Yes, I did.
Is that your belief?
Yes, it is, Mr. Chairman.
And on the page that came immediately thereafter, on page 99, this is what you said about sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation has often been used by captors to enhance dependency and malleability of behavior. Lack of sleep for prolonged periods may result in anxiety, irritability, blurred vision, memory problems, confusion, slurred speech, hallucinations, paranoia, disorientation, and ultimately death. However, sleep deprivation, even for one night, has recently been revealed in brain scans to affect the areas of the brain used for language, attention, working memory function, suggesting that even minor disruptions in sleep can degrade the captive's ability to cope effectively with challenges faced in captivity. Is that still your opinion?
Mr. Chairman, I don't believe that I wrote that section. There are multiple authors on that chapter. If I may comment back to the question I was being asked to answer earlier, when you're trying to define what 18 hours or 17 hours of sleep deprivation is, well, if you're talking about, without knowing anything more, getting up at 5 a.m. and going to bed at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I think most people do that kind of every day. So that's why I was saying I need more context.
No, that's okay. But you said lack of sleep for prolonged periods may result.
Yes.
So you stay with that statement if it's prolonged periods of sleep deprivation.
I don't believe that I wrote that section of that chapter, but I would agree with that.
All right. And when you went through SEER training or witnessed SEER training, the sleep deprivation you talked about there that our people were trained to be inoculated against were shorter periods than that.
Well,
you said 4 hours perhaps.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know that we actually inoculate them to that during our training.
Sleep deprivation.
We don't have enough time and I'm not sure that you could inoculate to them
to sleep deprivation.
To sleep deprivation. That's right. However, we certainly recognize that that's a condition that they face, and we try to simulate that during the training.
How do you simulate it?
Well, we simulate that by keeping them up. Certainly they are doing some of the things that they
Keeping
would
them up for how long?
sometimes overnight. We don't have an infinite amount of time.
How many hours, though? About
It varies, but in the range of about 4 to 10 hours or so.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you. We thank this panel very much, and you're excused.
Here you go.
Here we go. Our next panel is made up of Alberto Mora, former General Counsel of the Department of the Navy, retired Rear Admiral Jane Dalton, former legal advisor to the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and retired Lieutenant Colonel Diane Beaver, former Staff Judge Advocate at the Joint Task Force Guantanamo Bay. We thank our witnesses for their presence, and I believe we have an opening statement for the record from each of you. And then what we'll do is we'll start, I think, with Lieutenant Colonel Beaver first, followed by Rear Admiral Dalton, and then Mr. Mora. So if you would proceed, Colonel Beaver, we would thank you.
Mr. Chairman and committee.